They taught you to believe that liberty is your natural inheritance, that your mind is sovereign, and every choice you make reflects your true will. But have you ever wondered if the narrative you've carried all your life was ever genuine? What if the existence you call yours, the ideals you uphold, the dreams you pursue, even the nagging uncertainties, were sown within you by unseen hands? The ancient Gnostics, seekers of arcane knowledge, spoke in hushed tones of formidable entities, the Archons. Unlike the fallen angels or demons depicted in Scripture, these beings were far more subtle, more corrosive to the soul. The Gnostics warned us. The Archons worked their craft with almost imperceptible finesse, weaving enchantments so alluring, so intimate, that you rarely grasp you have been ensnared, until you wake up far too late. Somewhere deep within history, a truth was intentionally concealed, a secret so meticulously hidden that nearly all have wandered past it, blind. This captivity bears no physical marks, no locks, no shackles, only an invisible web spun within your mind, shaped by your own ability to imagine. Your greatest gift, commandeered, has become the very means of your entrapment. For thousands of years, our kind has wandered this invisible cage, convinced of our freedom, even as our awareness is siphoned, redirected, consumed. The Gnostics sewed pieces of this knowledge in hidden scrolls, cryptic fragments, and secret initiations, waiting for the moment when human awareness would rise high enough to reclaim our birthright. And now you are here listening. That alone sets you apart from those still caught in the dream. You are woven into an awakening web, a tapestry of souls quietly seeking to remember, to retrieve what has been lost. Ready yourself, because once you see what the Archons are and recognize the secret powers that pull their strings, the world will never seem quite the same. Soon the obscured Gnostic path, an ancient strategy for dissolving their hold, will unfold. You will discover why so many languish in cycles of fear, distraction, and amnesia, and come to realize this was never humanity's intended life. Understanding the Archon's grip on your perception shifts everything, not just the thoughts you notice, but the very nature of your reality. Before dogmas molded our cosmogony, shadowed rumors lingered, a deeper reality pressed under centuries of silence. In 1945, beneath the warm dust of Nag Hammadi, a farmer found a sealed jar. It contained texts untold for over a millennium and a half. The Gnostic Gospels changed everything. Within those pages, reality and the nature of humanity was reimagined. The writing spoke of a hidden war, not fought with swords, but in the realm of perception, a clandestine struggle to sever us from the source and make the divine ember within us forget itself. According to Gnostic teaching, the tangible world is not the craft of the highest divinity. Instead, it is the work of a lesser force, a blindness masquerading as creator, known as the demiurge. Long ago, Sophia, wisdom herself, acted alone, birthing a flawed creature. Yaldabaoth, a lion-faced, serpent-bodied figure, his gaze electric. Ignorant of his origins, Yaldabaoth fathered 12 Archons, corresponding to the zodiac, and 7 planetary wardens tied to the roving stars. Beyond them, 365 Archons presided over the days. This cosmic engine traps us in endless loops of illusion and authority. These are no mere attendants. They are the prison's very engineers. But what truly are these entities? The word Archon comes from the Greek for ruler or authority, but the Gnostics did not see them as righteous monarchs, but as cosmic predators, forces that hover just outside the boundaries of awareness, thriving on distortion, anxiety, and confusion. Their power is not to create, but to seduce, to counterfeit, to twist. The Gnostics did not dismiss them as myth. They saw them as tangibly real and understood with chilling clarity. Control the mind within, and the world outside hardly matters. Each invasive idea, baseless dread, and illusory longing, how many of them are authentically yours? These revelations pose such a threat that early orthodoxy tried to burn them from memory. Sages silenced, scriptures destroyed, yet fragments endured, buried beneath layers of ritual and tradition. Why? Because the truth about Archons reveals how reality itself has been distorted. the compulsive chase for approval, the systems that consume our attention, none of it may be natural. All of it could be meticulously architected. The Gnostics insisted, within every person glows a spark of genuine source, a light the Archons cannot touch. But here lies their gambit. If they keep you spellbound, running after phantoms, forgetting your true essence, mistaking their suggestions for your own mind's voice, they have no need for locks. Your thoughts become the snare. The knowledge was hidden not to subjugate, but to liberate. The Gnostics understood. If enough remembered, the illusion collapses. If these mystics were right, the Archons rule not by violence, but by suggestion. What happens when a cell is invisible? Those inside rarely sense the walls. Millennia ago, the Archons discerned something about the psyche that science is only now catching up to. Your reality is shaped through the lens of perception. Change that filter, and everything transforms. How do they encode their program into your awareness so seamlessly? The Gnostics spoke of psychic interference, energetic disruptions coursing through our consciousness. Picture yourself standing in a silent, endless library when an almost inaudible murmur floats past. You think it's your own idea, but it's not. Archons echo your inner voice. Suddenly, confidence is replaced by a wave of hopelessness. You'll never make it. You're not worthy. Give up. Were those truly your thoughts? There's more. The Archons are attuned to frequencies steeped in low emotion: fear, envy, guilt, shame. The more you dwell in these states, the wider you leave the doorway open. But their manipulation extends beyond individuals. They tune the collective mind, influencing societies and beliefs so that you wander preordained paths, believing you're deciding for yourself. Is the endless striving for status, the constant chase for fulfillment, a hunger that is never sated, really innate? Or is it seeded by invisible manipulators? Their secret is simple. Keep humanity adrift in endless drama and craving. Distortion is the cage. When attention is dispersed, when you are harried and restless, you are easier to steer and easier to harvest. For the Archons, our potent emotional surges, especially those born of suffering, are nourishment. They thrive on the energies when we rage, despair, compete, and spiral. And their strategy is insidious. They'd rather have you fighting shadows, lost in tribal conflicts, blaming each other, anything but turning inward to remember the radiant truth at your core. The moment you remember, their system fractures. Your consciousness is their one boundary. The sacred ember within you, the true divine, cannot be reached by them. Still, if they convince you it doesn't exist, you'll never turn towards it. So the Archons do not merely invade your thoughts, but sink claws into your very identity, urging you always towards external validation, endless scrolling, never encouraging you to look inward. The only place real wisdom is found. The Gnostics knew, once humanity reclaims its buried power, the spell weakens. And that is what the Archons fear above all. But knowing their game is just the first step. The true challenge lies in escaping it. How does one repossess their mind, their life force, their freedom? To answer, we must explore more deeply the inner workings of human awareness and unlock the Gnostic method that lifts you beyond reach of their grasp. Consider this: the archonic influence is not only personal, but cosmic. They shape not just mind and mood, but even the unfolding of time itself. They tilt stories, fabricate cycles, luring humanity into endless repetition. Why does history endlessly circle? The same collapses, the same rivalries, the same vanities in new attire. Gnostics would say this is deliberate. Imagine navigating an invisible maze. The boundaries can't be seen, but the paths, fashions, and events are carefully nudged. Each collective upheaval, mass panics, obsessions, wars, sends undulating ripples of energy, currents the Archons are drawn to. Disturbingly, their reach extends even into spiritual traditions. Over ages, primal truths have been perverted, teachings diluted, sacred practices hollowed out until little substance remains. For every path of genuine awakening, 1,000 false ones are offered. Shallow promises, splintered truths, distractions to keep you circling further from your center. Follow this method, purchase this remedy, seek fulfillment here. But the last thing they want you to do is peer inside and feel the source lamp glowing in your own heart. That direct connection is the one space they cannot infiltrate. Most of humanity remains endlessly busy, chasing external lights, searching everywhere but within. The Gnostics cautioned, the Archons are illusionists, architects of separation, lack, and threat. Their strength hinges on your belief in powerlessness. If you accept the mask, you yield your strength. Yet paradoxically, their touch is only through influence. They cannot create, only impersonate. Their dominion stands on your tacit surrender, your unwitting acceptance of false narratives. Discard the tale, and their spell unravels. This goes far beyond personal awakening. As more individuals come to see through the charade, the collective dream itself begins to shift. New possibilities burst forth, and that is the Archon's deepest dread. That consciousness will realize it can choose an entirely new world. As more people reawaken, the old system fights desperately to hold. But you have always felt the difference, an ancient inkling whispering that the bargain offered by society is a poor substitute for true life. That silent urging, it's your own spirit remembering. Knowledge alone will not suffice. The Gnostics left clues, a forgotten map for restoring clarity, reclaiming energy, and reconnecting to what is beyond the Archon's reach. Once you find this path, everything shifts. To truly escape, the Gnostics insisted, you must awaken to your essence and cease fueling the illusions meant to lull you. There's no need for open battle, only bright seeing. When you recognize the shape of this invisible prison, its boundaries begin to fade. Their ultimate power is hiding in plain sight. Their suggestions masquerade as your own. Their wants slip into your ambitions. Here is the paradox. The instant you recognize the trick withers. Try this now. Pause, breathe, close your eyes, and witness the next thought arising in your mind. Don't chase it, don't resist it. Gently witness, did you shape it or did it appear unbidden? This is the ancient practice the Gnostics called gnosis, direct knowing. Step back from the inner clamor, observe the silent contest inside your psyche. Each time you detect a false thought, you retrieve energy that would have been lost. The Archons depend on you dwelling in fear, blame, resentment. These are their feeding fields. Starve them, and the prison withers. Whenever agitation threatens to pull you under, pause. Place your hand upon your heart. Draw 3 slow, grounding breaths, and imagine every wisp of scattered energy returning home, severing unseen drains. For the Gnostics, your life force is sacred. Each time you gather it back, you move from being sustenance for predators to becoming sovereign and immune. Buried deep within, the Archons cannot fathom or reach. Your divine essence, a living spark of source. They can only try to make you forget. To ignite this spark, the Gnostics practice daily remembrance, turning their gaze inward to the undying flame. Each moment you rest in inner stillness, you step outside of old patterns and touch freedom's core. This is the heart of the secret. The Archons cannot dictate what is real. They can only snare your attention. Where focus goes, reality grows. If they keep you tangled in chaos and despair, you continuously reinforce their world. But the second you choose to nurture what uplifts, enriches, and awakens you, you steer your life toward a new horizon. Every thought consciously chosen, every belief thoughtfully questioned, every fragment of quiet, each one is an act of silent defiance. Perhaps that's why you found yourself here, listening, not through accident or whim, but through the rising memory of your ancient self. As each of us reawakens, the unseen structure loosens its hold. If you feel called to dive deeper into this hidden wisdom, I've created a free guide called Escaping the Illusion, a Gnostic roadmap to rewriting the script of your reality. It offers tools and insight to help you reclaim your mind from archonic influence. You'll find the link in the description below. Through hidden manuscripts and veiled symbols, the Gnostics tried to warn us. The Archons hold sway not through chains, but through enforced forgetting, through inherited stories and unexamined thoughts. But something fundamental has shifted, because now you can see the trick. The invisible trap endures only as long as it is believed. Each moment you remember your awareness, each time you pause to inquire into the voice within, every bit of light you retrieve from worry and distraction, a bar of that prison vanishes. And perhaps this is why you felt compelled to watch, not by mere coincidence, but because something within you, older than your body, older than this very world, has begun to stir. The Gnostics prophesied, when enough sparks ignite, the Archons' fabric unravels, the false structures crumble, and the veil lifts. Perhaps your true calling isn't simply to absorb these secrets, but to serve as living testimony to their truth. So ask yourself, if not all thoughts are yours, who are you behind the endless stream? When you begin to recall, when you step through the veils, your real journey will begin. If you wish to journey further, seeking the mysteries veiled from most, don't forget to subscribe to the Gnostic Eye. Share your reflections below. Your voice could help another find their spark. The adventure grows increasingly mysterious from here. Together, let us witness what lies beyond the illusion. Our story is just beginning.